Alright, Paulie, how are we doing? Welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm not too bad. So, just really quickly to start off, you were covering the Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora fight just before Christmas there in Matchroom. In terms of the fight itself, did it play out the way? Did it play out the way that you thought it was going to play out?
Yeah, I expected it to be a good fight. I think there's certain kind of styles that are matched up against one another, and they make for good fights, And I think Dillian and Derek will always make for a very good fight. And I thought the fight would really develop to another entertaining scrap, and then it had a sudden ending. But I thought it was definitely a good fight.
You said before the fight that a lot of the people that Dillian had fought, that Derek probably wouldn't have beaten, but although that maybe the two of them were probably the perfect partners to fight with.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just a matter of styles making fights, and I think that's what you have when you have Whyte and Chisora in the same ring. There's probably a level that Dillian is at and Derek is not at anymore at a when it comes to a world class level. When it comes to the heavyweight rankings picture, but when you match them in the ring with one another, it's just a styles thing. They make for a great fight, and they make for a very competitive fight. What was your scorecard looking like before the knockout? With those points lost by Chisora, two deductions by Chisora.
Yeah.
I think it could have been even, or even maybe Chisora up a point.
And the way it was going, did you think Dillian was going to win the fight, or do you think Chisora would have ended up winning the fight?
The way it was going, Dillian was trying to find his range late in that fight. So I really think that he was probably going to close that gap, that small gap that he might have had, and maybe he edged it at the end because Chisora's punches were getting wider. He was looking a little bit more fatigued, but it was probably part of the reason why he got himself knocked out.
When you look at the fight now after it, now that Dillian's won and Derek's lost, where do you think either of them go after this? I know that everything is in Dillian's hands really, but in terms of Derek as well, where do you think they're left after this fight?
I think Derek he had a good performance even in defeat. I think he acquitted himself well, so I think he can remain in a bit of the picture, maybe even be one of the opponents that's considered for Alexander Usyk. I think he can remain in the picture to a degree. Dillian, on the other hand, is obviously looking for the big one. He wants the heavyweight championship, so he's going to be in the conversation for those kind of major fights.
Do you think Matchroom will go ahead with the Wembley date and let Joshua fight Whyte, or do you think Joshua will end up fighting in the US against Ciaran Miller? That's what the rumours are at the moment.
It's tough. It's tough to really say which direction they're going to go in. I think Dillian has done everything asked of him, and he obviously deserves a big fight and deserves a title shot. Ciaran Miller has also done very well for himself, so he's going to feel like he deserved it too.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation because I think both guys are in a good position to be fighting for the title. But I guess it's going to come down to the business end. But of course, I feel like Dillian's been waiting for a longer time. Probably, I'd say, if I had to say it, probably Dillian deserves a shot first. But Jarrell is obviously the big name in the U.S., and if AJ is looking to invade the U.S., Miller is the perfect opponent to kind of make his U.S. debut against, because he's dangerous, and he's also a guy who can match up with the big boys.
What do you think of the fans at the moment, especially in the US, are saying that Dillian Whyte should fight Ortiz, but he's come out and said there's not really much benefit for him to fight Ortiz, and
I think Dillian's been taking enough risks. He's fought the guys in front of him. He fought Parker. He's done what he had to do to deserve a title shot.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz probably has done enough as well to deserve a title shot again, but unfortunately politics get in the way. I think both guys are really superb fighters. Ortiz got his title shot last year. I think Dillian deserves his title shot. He has not pulled for the heavyweight title yet, and so I think until somebody like Dillian gets a shot at the heavyweight title, it's not fair to him to keep making him fight all these other guys. So I think Dillian deserves a shot at the heavyweight title. Then whatever happens in that shot at the heavyweight title, then of course the guys like Ortiz can come in the mix. Ortiz is also a guy who deserves big fights. He's done great, but he's already been given a shot at the heavyweight title. So I believe Dillian deserves a shot at the heavyweight title before anything else.
Yeah. Moving on topics to on the same night was Carl Frampton and Josh Warrington. Did you get to see the fight at all?
I have not seen the fight, but I got to say, on paper, Warrington now is a legitimate champion, and it's a shame people were underestimating him, because he's got two championship wins against two very good championship fighters, in Lee Selby and Carl Frampton.
And in terms of Carl Frampton, what do you think he should do now that he's lost? Obviously, he was building.
Well, you take sometimes you take losses and you have to come back and rebuild. I think Carl Frampton has an option. You can come back and rebuild. Rebuild an island. He can come back to the States. I don't know. There's always that third fight with Santa Cruz that can still probably be built up again if Frampton goes and wins a fight or two. There's opportunities there. So I'm sure his team will go about it the right way.
Who do you think? Obviously, Josh Warrington has an IBF mandatory coming up. He actually asked for an exception against Carl Frampton, but after his mandatory, if he wins, of course, who do you think the ideal match would be within the champions of featherweight?
I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. That's a tough weight class. There's a lot of guys in that weight class, and to be honest, isn't his mandatory Kick Galahad?
That's right, yeah. That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very tough fight.
Yeah.
That's another very tough fight. And Warrington has not exactly been given an easy go of it,
Yeah.
So, it's another fight where he's really risking it. And, of course, the featherweight division has good fighters. So, there'll never be a shortage of fighters in the conversation for the big fight.
Yeah. Also, obviously, this week was announced. It was realistically, the deal was done quite a long time ago, a couple of weeks ago, but this week it was announced that Chris Eubank is going to fight James De Gale, a friend of yours. I hear that you're not going to be covering it for PBC, but James said in a IFL TV interview that you might be cornering him.
Yeah, well, I'll be working with Jim McDonald. I'll be coming in at the last part of camp. I spent some time with James. Last year, and during his camp with Truex. And spent some time with James last month in Miami as he was training, assisting Jim McDonald, in the training duties, And I think I'll do my best to assist Jim as well in the lead up to the fight and be in the corner as well.
And what would per se just be your role? Did they want you just as an extra voice, or?
Yeah, it's an extra voice, just as an assistant trainer to Jim McDonald. Just be an actual voice and try to put my 2 cents in as far as what I'm seeing and what Jim's a great trainer, but of course sometimes you get an extra set of eyes, and I'll run some things by Jim, and then see what he thinks of them.
So I presume you've seen some of his training camp already for this fight. He was talking about the reasons why he shouldn't have fought Truex the first time. He says he was injured fighting Truex, and he thought he still had enough to beat him. And then the second time he said, I just had to be a bit better, even though I still had the injuries. Did you see him training in camp with those injuries?
I think in the camp, from what I've seen of camp, he looks like he's better with his injuries. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
So far so good. But I also felt like the Truex rematch was also kind of messed up, because once Robert Byrd called the cut from a punch instead of a headbutt, like it was, in fact, that error by the referee really put everything into a tailspin, because now you're looking at a very bad cut where if you get stopped, you lose on a TKO. So he kind of had to fight in a way where it was panicky, kind of adjust the game plan. You couldn't relax anymore as much as you'd like to, because you can't afford to risk getting the fight being stopped on the cut anymore, as opposed to had it been called right, where it would have been from a headbutt. Then you'd know it would go to the scorecards and you'd win the fight. So I think James had to really, they kind of threw everything into a tailspin when the referee wrongfully called it the cut coming from a punch. So I really felt like, that was a bad mistake. But it's hard to judge James on that performance because of that error by the ref.
Yeah. And in terms of, people are talking about that he doesn't have a lot left in the tank, and he's starting to show that his age is showing. Would you say it was more so that occasion that you're talking about with the cut, or and also injuries? Yeah.
I mean, listen, you're not a spring chicken in your 30s, Anybody else, it's not normal to be a spring chicken when you're 40 and above and you're in the late 30s. And I've gone into this, and I don't need to have this conversation over and over again. I think guys that are like spring chickens when they're at that age are probably dopey, So I think when you're doing it naturally, I think once you enter your 30s, you're starting to enter the tail end of things,
Yeah.
And so James is he's still sharp enough. He's still got good legs. I really liked what I saw in his legs last month. He's adjusted some of the training to preserve his legs. And I think if James has his legs and the injuries are healed up like they seem, I think James can still give another couple of good years before maybe riding off to the sunset.
Yes, that's right. He has mentioned that he stopped running for this camp.
He did, yeah, exactly. And I thought it was a good adjustment. I was kind of questioning that at first because I was always a guy who really believed a lot in running and whatnot. And his trainer Jim McDonald also really believes a lot in running. So I have to say, I wasn't sure if his conditioning would suffer when he said he would do other things besides running. But I saw him spar, and I saw him spar a lot of rounds, several different times. So when I saw that and I saw his legs actually looking better to me, I said, you know what? Okay, I stand corrected. He was right. His legs, he's preserving his legs and he's still getting in shape.
And did you watch the World Boxing Super Series, the semi-final between George Groves and Chris Eubank? And if you did, what did you think of it?
I thought Groves boxed a really magnificent fight. I think Eubank is a very tough guy. I think he has a lot of character. But I think fundamentally he's lacking in some departments, But he's always a guy who's going to come to fight, And he's always a guy who, you can never underestimate. And he's a guy who, is still learning, I think. He doesn't have the experience because he got a little bit of a late start, He didn't have a long amateur career. But I think, he's going to be a handful to deal with. And I think, you have to fight a very disciplined fight in order to beat him. He's not just going to give it to you. I think Groves fought a very disciplined fight in that fight. That's the smart thing to do. You don't want to always, you don't want to underestimate anybody. And I think, Eubank has come up short, but he's always going out fighting. So I think he's going to be a live guy.
Up any tactics or anything like that, but what would you think of the people that have said that Eubank, one of his biggest, I suppose, his flaws in how he fights is his ability to cut range in terms of timing and how he transitions in and out of range? Would you agree with that in terms of how he tried to cut range?
What he's lacking is his ability to find range.
In terms of cutting range, he's like against George Groves, he struggled to cut range.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to ever assume a fighter's going to keep making the same mistakes. But of course, he's you have to. There's fundamentals to this. It's not a tough man contest. So if a fighter is fighting a smart fight like Groves is. If a fighter is making some smart adjustments like Groves is and keeping you at a distance he likes, you need to make the adjustments back. Yeah, of course. I didn't see Eubank making the adjustments. I saw him never stop trying. I saw him show a lot of character and balls because he was always going for it. But he just couldn't fundamentally make the adjustment. And of course, you don't want to assume he's never going to make the adjustment even after this. So we don't need to prepare James for what Groves may or may not bring. We need to prepare James to be the best James De Gale possible. And I believe if the best James De Gale possible shows up, it doesn't matter what Chris Eubank Jr. brings, because I think James will have enough to beat him.
Yeah. What do you think of the whole idea that Chris Eubank, he has never really had a trainer per se, and Robbie this week, he was interviewed by IFL and he says, he didn't listen to me before that Groves fight, and he still hasn't listened to me coming up to this fight. It was kind of almost like a backhanded comment to Coogan.
Who said this? Who said this?
His father's former trainer. His father's former trainer, Robert.
Father's former trainer.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, Robert.
I different strokes, different folks. Maybe Eubank Jr. is the kind of guy who likes to switch around guys and switch around trainers. I don't know, Alexander Usyk told me the same thing. He doesn't like to stick with one trainer. He likes to kind of take what a trainer gives him and then move on to other trainers. He always feels like he has to keep learning.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, different strokes, different folks. Some guys it works for, some guys it doesn't. Obviously the level of success a fighter has, that's what he'll be judged on, and that's where you'll see if it works for him or if it doesn't work for him.
So, I presume you're able to give me a prediction for the fight?
I believe James is, obviously I'm working with James, so I'm going to be biased, but I believe we have enough to beat Eubank. And I don't think Eubank is going to hand it over, but I believe James is going to have enough to win this fight.
The final question I'm going to ask you, so you recently saw Irish fighter James Tennyson fighting Tevin Farmer.
Yeah.
And recently, another Irish fighter under Matchroom, John O'Carroll, seems to look like he's going to get his shot against Tevin Farmer in March. John O'Carroll against Tevin Farmer.
Oh, John O'Carroll, okay.
How do you see that fight playing out, or if you've seen much of John O'Carroll fighting?
I haven't seen much of John O'Carroll. But yeah, I'll say Farmer is coming into his own, and he's got a great team around him now with the help of Matchroom. He's able to, I think, get the maximum out of his ability and be showcased as well. So I think it's I think anytime you get to see Tevin Farmer fight, I think it's a treat and it's a fun thing to do, because I think Farmer is a good fighter, and I think Farmer is also a guy we can enjoy while he's here. It's fun. It's nice to see that he's finally being taken care of the right way.
Do you think there'll be much competition in beating him at super featherweight? It's such a strong division, obviously, with Gervonta Davis and other fighters. But do you see, and obviously Lomachenko has moved up, but do you see really the only form of competition for him at the moment being Gervonta Davis?
It's possible. There's some young up-and-comers coming up the ladder as well, so I think guys will start to show themselves dangerous rather quickly as these guys come up the ladder, I think super feather is an exciting weight class. I think Farmer and Davis are obviously the class of the weight class and the guys people talk about, but I think it's a very good weight class. There's another Irish fighter that just won a title. I worked a fight of his last year, TJ Doheny.
Yeah, TJ, yeah.
I heard he just won the world title. I saw him last year. I noticed he was a really good puncher, and a good fighter. I was just reading that he went to Japan and knocked out the champion out there. I have to be honest, not surprised. He looked very good to me last year when I worked a fight of his over in Boston. For the Dropkick Murphys card. Yeah, no,
TJ's a big name over here in Ireland. Very good fighter. Right, well, Paulie, I think that's really it. So, I really appreciate you calling us from LA, and I hope you have a really good time. And what can you tell us the next fight that you're going to be ringside for?
I'll be working Broner vs. Pacquiao next Saturday night.
Broner vs. Pacquiao next Saturday night. Paulie will be there. So thanks very much, Paulie, and have a good day.
You too, mate. Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, everyone, that was Paulie Malignaggi from LA, so it's always nice to hear from him coming back on the show. Always gives great insight into everything and what's going on in the boxing world. So yeah, as I said before, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to go over to our Instagram page, which I'll try to put the link in below, Facebook as well, and Twitter. And just remember to follow Boxing Bants as well by subscribing here on YouTube. Have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.